All right. Hello, hello. First, let's check sound. Make sure we're good. To the people. To the people, them. Shout outs to Jamaica, of course. That is devastating. That's where originally my family's from, but yeah, I'm from Florida, so hurricanes are normal, and I won't say it's as devastating as I won't say it's as devastating as Hurricane Andrew or anything, but Um, I've been through Hurricane Andrew. I was 92, and I was what 7 years old or something like that. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Homestead still recovering from that, I guess. Anyways, shout out to them. Uh, we've had one family member check in. Said she's okay, so that's good. Uh, so today we're working with the Miller. Move this over here. Miller Spectrum. I won't be. I'm hoping not to be on too long, but you know how this gets, especially with me. So I'll be here. Might be here for a second. It keeps on bringing up the Miller Spectrum Extreme. I don't want the Extreme. Mm-mm. Trying to get the PDF for this thing. I think I have it on my phone. You might have to just do the Extreme. Looks like I don't even have that here. Yeah, I might have to just do the Extreme. I won't say it's the same, of course, but come on. Okay, let's do this here. Let's do the swap out. All right, cool. All right, welcome, welcome. And I'll show you the piece that I did a 9 hour turn and burn for. Drove down to, found this on Facebook Marketplace. Drove down to Tampa, Florida. That's 4 hours away from me. And man, went down there, tested it out. Really nice guy. This supposedly he was using this to build and work on monster trucks and things like that. So he's mainly kept it in his shop for the most part, and that's mainly it. Like so, it hasn't like he bought it, put it in place, and then really didn't move it. It is a larger unit. What we have up on the screen is the Spectrum 625 Extreme, so it's a lot smaller, compact design. Um, I believe with this one, the torch, that whole torch gun assembly it's removable. Unlike the older model that I have, I like the bigger, bulkier Millers. They seem to last a long time. Not to say that the small ones don't. I just don't have the experience nor the money for them. Right? Like I want to get entry into these, and if I upgrade to say, if these last another 2 years, that'll be good. Even for the XMT 304 that I got. I'll be okay if it lasts for another 2 years or so, like from me getting it, because they're already 15 plus years old in most cases. So with this unit, it has an integrated hose lead, right? So or both leads, the ground and the actual torch lead. So larger units like the Spectrum 1000, which I was looking at, but that person never responded. That one has a detachable hose from the looks of it, which I do like that design a lot better. Maybe you can do a little bit more customizations in terms of extending the leads or something like that. I don't think so really, but because these cables are kind of like pre-made because of the nature of plasma cutters. So the way I understand that plasma cutters work is just like you would with welding. You would have a ground clamp, and then it would make an arc. But in this case, it's using air pressure from an air compressor to push that flame, target that, uh, have that arc connect and push the air using the air pressure to push that flame through metal. So the name 625 or the designation 625, you have the 375s as well. But 625 means that if you divide 5 by 8 or 5/8 inch metal, I can cut through that, no problem. So we'll go through this here. If we go further down here, this is a known as a 40 amp welder. We'll get into that, but we can deal with mild steel up to 5/8 of an inch. If you divide 5 by 8, that'll give you 6.625. So 625 of an inch, which is cool. Like once you learn that. So like for instance, the Spectrum 1000 will do an inch to an inch and a half of cutting. So that's freaking insane. That's crazy. Like I have to think about it, right? Like um I often think like, bigger is better or something like that and just get that and like go from there. Um but one, price, availability, somebody answering, also the trip, right? I'll get into a little bit of the price breakdown here, but it costs me to take these drives. Also, the time it takes me to take these drives too. Like I have to devote time to that. Like if I have to work a weekend or something like that, which sometimes happens, especially with all the other stuff I do, and there's like stuff that I'm behind on as well. But you'll see where this stuff takes time, and it will of course not just only cost you money and fuel, but cost you in the time that you are to do available to do anything. I got my heater here because it is 50 degrees, so we in winter, baby, or fall, but I'm gonna call it winter. So I have to think about that, right? So uh, I could get a unit like the 1000, especially off of Facebook Marketplace. Don't mind the big backery that is this heavy plate here. Um, I am but a man. The flesh is weak. The stomach is strong. Anyways, but they have a couple of these units. The one that I saw, I guess I took it off maybe. Yeah, maybe I took it off because I just don't want. I'm not planning on getting it. Um, Huh. All right, we'll search for it. Uh, Miller um, Spectrum. All right, so we got this one in. Oh, this is the 2050. So with the 2050, I'm not sure how far that deep that cuts, but that's a bigger unit, more power. That's way too much power. There's this unit. I was actually looking at this. This was in Brooksville, Florida. Gentleman had the leads and everything else that came with it. That's normal because these are attached to the unit. You really can't separate them from or not easily separate them from the unit. So you have to do quite a bit to get that out, and we'll actually go through that here in a little bit. And his also came with a cart, which is nice, but his was $925. And I'll show you some of the things that I got with this one that made this deal make a little bit more sense to me. All right, so there's the Spectrum 1000, which I wish I could find. Here it is. There we go. Yeah, so this unit, really nice, but you can see where it has that detachable hose. Yeah, my mouse shows. So it has that detachable hose, which is really nice. So you can have that plug in. It has that little latch there. I would much rather prefer this one, but gentleman didn't answer, so is what it is. And I wouldn't say like burning a hole in my pocket, but I really wanted to start chopping up some metal. There is a little goodie back there. Got a chop saw, so I'll be unboxing that and doing another stream for that and setting that up. Because I do want to start cutting these cross members and start welding these cross members in place. I wouldn't say finish this trailer, but move on to the next step now that we've cut out a lot of different things and we've welded on stake pockets and things like that. So I got steps, well, 2 steps welded on, 4 stake pockets. I got 4 more steak pockets to go. But I'm just taking it slowly, going piece by piece, and then getting also these different pieces as well. So yeah, so we have the Miller 625. This is the extreme model, smaller, comes with a different torch. This is the XT40 torch. The torch that is on my unit is the Ice 40C. It's hard to find some parts for that. We'll go through that as well, and I'm pricing out things. Also, we'll go through some of the consumables that I got with the unit as well. That made this deal, I won't say sweeter, but yeah, sweeter, a good deal. Altogether, I think this was a good deal, and also closer when it comes to driving and stuff, because I would have to drive 6 hours one way just to go and get this bad boy here. So that would have been a 12-hour whole day situation, having to sleep, probably get a hotel or something like that. There's the cost of doing that. Yeah, you could probably get something shipped. I don't know how we would ship this. If a person's not a shipper, it's not really good to ship heavier equipment like this. And then also meeting that person, driving 6 hours. Sometimes I try to just go within my area, Florida, Georgia, and even in Georgia, I don't try to go to Atlanta or up close to Atlanta. The farthest I'll go is like Tifton, Macon. Of course, out to maybe Albany, Valdosta, of course, is closer. It's an hour. Florida, so Tampa's the farthest I've gone. Um, and that was pretty far. That's kind of like out of my 3 hour radius, so to speak, because 3 hours I can comfortably do at just about any period of time. And then, of course, the drive back is a whole nother story. But, anyways, I do like this unit, but yeah, so that's why I took it off of, so I don't have to suffer the pain of seeing it anymore. So let's go to marketplace, buying, saved. So I look at a lot of different things when it comes to factoring in, like, okay, should I buy this? Should I buy that? Looking at even the CST 280 as maybe a replacement as I get better, because the CST 280, that 280 denotes that it goes up to 280 amps. I know my XMT 304 goes up to 304 or 300 amps, and I'm not going to be anywhere near close to that. I'm not going to burn rods that big. And especially, yeah, I definitely won't be burning rods that big anytime soon. But the thing is, the price, the durability of the unit, and things like that, and having parts. That's one thing that we'll get into. All right. So with all that being said, I break those things down, and I go into other pieces of it. So one of the things is the consumables. The previous owner, I wouldn't say gracious enough. It just, he sweetened the deal, right? Pretty much. And I was able to get quite a few different consumables here. I have them listed on the screen and then have them priced out. He said, hey, listen, this is about $200 worth of consumables. So let's get into this deal. This is the Spectrum 625. It was listed at $650. I screwed up and gave him $625. Guess why? It's the Spectrum 625. So I messed up, and he was really gracious about that. It's not like he killed the deal. I said, hey, listen, let me Apple Pay you Venmo. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. I would have knocked it down anyway if you asked. And now I can get this thing off of Facebook Marketplace and not have people like call me every 2 seconds or, hey, is it available? Is it available? Is it available? Like, some people have stuff on there for weeks, especially if it's something that's not a prime or hot commodity or anything like that, like some of this older welding equipment. A lot of this stuff, what's good and bad about it is that it's available. Bad sometimes is just the price, but then also distance. But if it's available, then you can get them for parts. But the biggest thing I've seen is sometimes people, I wouldn't say overvalue, but they do have high valuations, and some people just aren't. They're not trying to move the product. If you ask me, they're not really trying to move that product, or they're not trying to really sell it or get it off their hands. Like, hey, I know what I got. I'm not gonna low blah blah blah. And I understand that. And he kind of mentioned that too with this. But here, looking at the unit, good unit overall, clean, very clean in terms of like what I've seen. He had a nice like shop, a lot of stuff in it. It was kind of crazy. He had a ton of lighting, but he had like a really tall shop with a lift and everything. And he had some ATVs that he was trying to sell in there. I won't fire this up tonight. There's some other stuff that I have to do. The power is in place, no problem. This is single phase 240, so I have a plug for that. So my 50 amp, my existing 50 amp plug that I ran for my XMT, perfect. I think this might take three phase, but of course, not worrying about that. I don't think, yeah, I don't have three phase for the house. Hmm, maybe I do. I don't think so. I'm not an electrician. Don't worry about it. So, with the consumables, it's about $200 worth of consumables. I went ahead and started pricing these things out just to see, if it was even close to that. And yeah, I came up with the current valuations, no taxes, no shipping. We're looking at $192 worth of consumables that he actually gave me. Some were kind of burnt out a little bit, like for instance the shield drag or the cup. Yeah, the retaining cup. I got two of those technically. One is, I would almost say, a little worse for wear. So, this is valuable. Anyways, so this is the retaining cup, which is the white piece here. As you can see, like on the image here, we have the retaining cup. That's probably a better visual. Let's see if I can expand that. Yeah. So we have the retaining cup here. I have quite a few electrodes. I have extended and then regular electrodes. I have some nozzles. Yeah, I have some nozzles. Swirl rings. So I have some of those. I have three of those. And then the drag head or the drag shield, I have two of those technically, or two extra, I should say. This, I think I can like not weld this, but grind this down to get a decent look to it again. I'm not sure how that all works. So in terms of like, should you reuse that, refurbish it, or something like that? But they sell them pretty cheap, so it's not really necessary. Yeah. So actually, no, I have three cups, three retaining. Retaining cups. So one, two. Yeah, I got three of those. That brings up the value to $225. Let's go through that then. So I got three swirl rings. So that's $24.99. I've seen them as high as $50 a piece on certain Amazon sales, but it's a lot cheaper on eBay. So I'm trying to be fair and like accurate as best as possible. Tip standard 40 amp. So I believe that is I'm trying to remember the parts too. So that should be these here. And I have three. No, these are the tips. Yeah. So tip standard 40 amp. I guess 40 amp. So 204325 is not on this. But these tips basically here. So I got four of those, pack of 5. And depending on the vendor, you'll get cheaper pricing, of course. Shield drag, I got two of those technically. Shield drag. Oh no, shield. I got one that's brand new, and then also another one, so we could bump that up, even though I'd have to refurbish this one to get it back to its former glory. And I don't think I can even take this thing off because it's kind of on there. I have to find some way to take that off. Like, it should be screwable, and that's it. So I think this one might be just screwed. Anyways, so we could say, hey, listen, I have that. I can test it and see if I can fix it, or if there's anything I can do with that one. So that's cup retaining, drag shield, or shield drag. Oh, I wrote it down how it's on the package. So shield. All right. Cup retaining. Retaining cup. Tip. Retaining cup. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Retaining cup. We went over that. Electrode. So they have the 55 amp variant. I have 3 of those. So those are these units here. Now this one, it looks like it's already burnt out and used, and maybe there's something in there that like you should be able to see through it, or no, I guess not. This is a solid piece here. This is essentially what um, the ground will arc to, kind of like with your welding rods. So it'll arc to this. I have three of the standard 55 amp that can take 55 amp. We only have a 40 amp machine, and I'm learning this as I go along. And then I have the extended one units here as well, and I have 5 of those. And those are brand new in box. Like, he didn't use it much, it seems. He got the machine, and I don't know how long he had it or whatever, but probably was making a lot of money with the monster truck stuff, and you could buy this stuff. I don't. The hardest part is finding like the MSRP for these units. I know I'm like scratching my nose a lot. I think I don't have to handle that. But with these units, what I've seen is that they have. It's hard to find the original price for these units. So if anything, you can only go off of the current retail of the latest model, which is not the best because prices for those have gone up considerably. So even if you have an older machine, it works out better for you, so to speak, in terms of or inflation and stuff like that. I would say not better. All right. So with that being said, that's $234.63 worth of consumables. So I'll have that here. I'll keep that above the desk and put that away. Put it away. Put it away now. All right. So with that being said, we look on to one of the other consumables. Let's get our unit into view here and finally show off what we got going on. Let's oh shoot. All right, I guess we're gonna have to resize it manually because we did a couple changes. No biggie. All right, cool. Let's cut to our other scene here and get to the desk cam. Alrighty, so this here is our unit. Oh wait, desk cam, and I'll lock it there. Take that out. I also want to go to screen full, unlock this. I want to lock that. All right, cool. Screen full, we can lock. Desk cam, we have to keep unlocked. All right, cool. So yeah, I just have to work with the scenes here. So this is our unit, all wrapped up. He zip tied it up for me. This is our torch here, which I need a lot of work. I want to do a lot of work to this to get it in a better look, better better condition. It does work. I tested it beforehand. He was able to cut through some metal. I didn't test it fully. Like I tested it and touched it and like touched it myself and worked with it, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't work with this stuff at all. I've never used a plasma cutting torch, but I do want to change out this handle if I can't, and I can't find like just the guard. I can't find the freaking guard, man. So what that means is I'm gonna have to clean up what I got. So there'll probably be another video where I'm just gonna go at this with a Dremel and knock this stuff down here because this is a lot of like metal that's like hit it over the years from him cutting and also like like serious burn damage. Let's get this interview here, but wait, wait. So serious burn damage, a lot of damage on this torch. I mean, it has been used, and this is the part that takes the most of the damage because it's the closest to the flame. The machine itself pretty much just sat on the shelf. So this is where I can buy the trigger, this trigger alone, the red and the yellow. So this is the safety, pull that up, and then you push this down, and then there's a switch inside. But this alone, $60. Just that, this is actually supposed to be yellow. So this here, and then the trigger actuator, as they call it, that's another $60. So go ahead and buy that. we can take off this nozzle here. This is the drag guard. So have one already, of course. And then this is how it's all assembled on the inside. We have our retaining cup. And as I said, this worked. And what I would like to do is try and refurbish this here. So there's stuff that's going to fall out of here. So there's the swivel ring in there, electrode. So swivel ring, electrode. You have that whole assembly. There we go. So you have your drag guard, your retaining cup. Then you have, I forgot what this is called. Let's cheat. This should be, oh no, this should be the tip. Yeah, this should be one of the tips here. And these are fairly cheap. So you have your tips, and I have quite a few of these. And then you have your electrode. This is your actual electrode here, your non-extended electrode. And then your swivel ring here. Hopefully I'm doing a good job of like showing this or keeping it in camera. So all that put together, drop it back in there. And then you have this here. I'm not sure what that is. This presses down. So this presses down here. What I do want to get for this retaining cup, you can get what they call a roller guard. So actually, let's switch back over. With the roller guard, so I got the magnetic grounding clamp. I'm going to be using that. But also, let's look at some of my orders. Hopefully, I have nothing embarrassing. I'm just playing. I have nothing crazy. But here, you have the roller guard, and this goes around this retaining cup at the tip, as you can see here. And then that allows you to like just go over the metal, so over the piece. Essentially, or the rule of thumb is that you want to be as far away from the metal as its thickness. So if it's an eighth of an inch thick, you want to be an eighth of an inch away from the metal. You don't want to be too far away from the metal. That's going to cause a little bit of slag, improper cuts, unclean cuts. So having a guard and something like maybe attached to it, like clamped down to it, as a running as a straight surface, so to speak, maybe a triangle or something like that, or a right angle, or angle line. I forgot what they call it, man. One of these, a square. Have a square attached to it or something like that, or clamped to it. So I might get like a more durable square or something like that. But having something like that, and then you can have this roller guard, and then you can make better cuts that way. So that's one thing that can be considered when you're working with this and cutting with it. So I'll probably get a new switch, take this whole thing apart. I'm a little bit hesitant in doing that because to really work with this whole thing and actually to use it or to replace, really, you'd have to replace the whole assembly here. Like this all is the torch itself has the air hose, the electrical, and everything all into one. They've improved the design in terms of making it a little bit more detachable, so it's easier to replace it and stuff like that. So if the torch goes bad, torch gets destroyed, you don't have to open up the whole system again. The Spectrum 1000 had it where it's like easily attachable, right, or detachable. But this, I mean, it's just right here. This is just a PG gland, a waterproof gland, and you could just unhook this and then unhook the wires on the inside. But I think these machines, mainly, especially with the larger ones, they're not really made to what's it called? They're not really made to be moved a lot. Maybe you have it on a cart or something like that, but then you have to deal with longer air hose and even longer cable providing power. All right, So as far as the deal, $625 is what I paid. I'm gonna send the guy the money in the mail for the money that I mistakenly didn't give him. So let's call it 650. He gave me about $200 in consumables. So if we look at that, let's just take out the handy dandy calculator here. If we consider all of these things, 650. Actually, no, we're gonna go fancy. All right, 650. And then we will subtract $235 or 234. Let's say $235 in consumables that he gave me. So that gets me down to 415. Um, and then it cost me about $200 in diesel fuel. I mean, my truck drinks the diesel fuel. I mean, it still does about 16 miles per gallon, but that was a 9-hour, 400-mile trip. Um, you know, I should have put it in eco mode. That would have helped, I think, a little bit, but it's still an F350 with a lot of weight. So now we add that $200 in fuel, and that's not an exact price. Now we're up to 615 into this unit. Again, if we calculate my time in terms of what I get paid for my regular job, it's like that's a whole different story, right? Like that would be it would have made more sense to try and get it shipped or something like that. But you're not really going to get that from Facebook Marketplace. And then now we're looking at doing possible repairs. So we're looking at another $60 for $60 for this the switch here. Consumables were good on. A little bit of repair, a little bit of repair to this one just to knock off this metal here because this is metal. This is a shit ton of just metal melted to it. And then maybe sand this down a little bit and repaint it. Like nothing serious. Just make it look good cosmetically, and then also make sure it's good. The switch is the biggest thing. Like that's probably all I'll spend money on is the switch, and then there's also internal switch as well. Or this is the actuator as they call it, or the trigger, and then there's an actual switch on the inside. So making sure that's all good, taking off this housing, and working it, and trying to take it apart and work it into making it look better. Then also replacing the grounding clamp. So this grounding clamp is probably you saw that. I'm going to use a magnetic grounding clamp. I've been wanting to use that for a little while, and I might replace the larger grounding clamp that I have on my XMT 304 with a magnetic grounding clamp instead of your usual clamp. So the magnetic grounding clamp is just circle magnet, pop it on there. All right, let's. So we're looking at $675 in terms of what I'm going to have to do with repairs. Actually, probably a little bit more than that. Let's go back to this here. In repairs, and we'll start adding this up, but we're looking at minus 60 to reverse that. So we're looking at plus $75 in terms of repairs, and repairs and upgrades, so to speak. So $8 for the roller guard, the trigger guard or the trigger, $60, $70 for the grounding clamp. All right. And I'm trying to keep track of this a little bit more because I do want an overall, quote unquote, better accounting of what I'm doing with these things and how much I'm spending on some of this stuff. Like buying tools, I'm like, oh no, I'm not really gonna do that. But if you can't accurately price or accurately track the price of your work, then you really can't accurately price your work. So that's the thing that I learned. Factoring in profit into your into your price is important. All right, let's see if we can. All right, so again, these hoses are connected. Like I can't do anything about removing these hoses and taking them off so I can service them or do anything else. I can also replace, and I'll get into that air filter in a little bit. It's a funny story with that toilet paper roll. If you ask me, it's pretty funny. Um, so looking at this cable, I don't do any real deep inspections when I'm at the site, but looking at this cable, I'm probably going to do some work in terms of um, putting electrical tape on certain areas to repair that, especially once I get the grounding clamp or the new grounding clamp in place. So getting rid of this older one, which actually I like it. Very snappy. Easy too. Smaller cable, but you don't need much in terms of what this is going to produce. This is going to be able to take that 40 amps, I guess, essentially. So you don't need much, especially for the length and everything. We have our power cable. Nothing wrong with this one. Originally came with the unit, it looks like. Um, yeah, yeah, it looks like this. It usually came. It originally came with the unit. Nothing wrong with this one. Just clean that sucker off. Ugh. Another thing with this unit is that it has an actual holder on the system, on the machine itself, a little drawer for all your consumables. In fact, oh wow, I have more consumables in here. I can add that to it as well. I'll do that for, actually let's do that now. And I'll come up with a better formula. So that is an extended electrode. So I have 6 of those. Let's go ahead and add that. So extended electrode, we have one of those. We also, looks like we have an extended tip or extended nozzle. And 52, I don't have anything for this, but I'll find that price. But the extended nozzle, it looks like an extended nozzle. So they have the extended nozzle 35 amp, and then they have the extended nozzle 50 amp. So I assume this is a 50 amp because it's a 40 amp unit. And it should be, I think they have the part numbers etched on here. Yeah. So 192052. Oh no, so okay, so this is the 30 amp nozzle. Oh wow. Okay. Let's get the price on that. Just do that right now. So 192052. They don't sell just a nozzle, it looks like. Oh, okay, here we go. Extended nozzles. And this is how the packaging, I just cut all of it off, but this is exactly how the packaging looks. I just cut it out of the out of that packaging because it's just the overall packaging was dirty. Had all the dust from his shop and stuff in there. So this comes in a 5-pack. So $34 divided by 5. Quick maths. So equals 35 divided by 5. Oh, I put that in the wrong field. All right, $. So that's $7 a unit. 192052, and this is a extended. Oh, we can actually look at the picture for the. I usually go here. So tip extended 35 amp. Oh, okay. So this is a tip. Why is it? Okay. So we'll copy this and then add the extended. 35 amp. Count, I only have one. eBay would be where I would get it from, most likely. And then I have the link here if I would potentially buy it later on. And some of this stuff I might buy because what I'm seeing is that these are older machines. So I'm actually, I wouldn't say panicking, but I am in a rush to, oh, $34. Okay, let's correct that. I am in a bit of a, or it's like, something in the back of my head that says, hey, listen, man, you need to go ahead and get these. All right. So we're looking at $245. Repairs. Let's add another sheet, and we'll call this deal. And then, for instance, we'll say category total, and then go from there. So purchase total is $650, and then this whole row $sign. Purchase was $650, fuel, and I'll probably do this for other deals too as I go along. So fuel, we will call that 200. 200. Yeah, these are all going to be positives. Consumables. How do we reference other sheets again? So it is, I believe you could do equals, and then you can go over to whatever you want to equal. So consumables, consumables F1. So, all right, so the name of the sheet. So in this case, I don't want consumables F1. Well, we'll keep that, but you'll see what I do here, and I'll have it do it itself, essentially. It'll calculate itself from that sheet. So instead of consumables F1, it'll be consumables should be this. Okay, I guess that's not needed. Cool. All right. So then consumables, fuel. Let's increase that. Cool. I should have done that from the get-go. I was thinking about that and I just totally ignored it. Is this electrode? I don't know what this little thing is, so I won't necessarily count it. Let's move this to a safer spot. So consumables and then repairs, and we will copy that, and then instead, I think repairs is in column C. Repairs. All right, cool. So consumable repairs. Deal. So the deal should be, let's do this. We will one row above, and then we should have deal, and that should be, yep. Yeah. Okay. No, this is good. That's good. We will make consumables though a negative number. All right. Cool. All right. So this way we can automatically calculate how much the deal was. Um, put a black border here. Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Right into the mic. Yeah. So we'll do this. And yeah, I don't think we have anything. Category total, cool. 679 repairs, purchase. So this still works out to be cheaper than what it would have been if I went to the gentleman that was selling it at 925 bucks, which was about an hour closer. So doing things like that, so I can figure out those prices, makes the deal even more worth it in my head, right? As I'm going through this. So we got our usual bit of water here that we're going to use to wipe this sucker off, but we're going to take the shroud off first. So let's switch back. Desk cam. All right, so a lot of dust, a lot of caked up dust on here. I mean, well, and you can see that it's never moved because like underneath this here, there's nothing. Yeah, underneath this, you can see there's like nothing there. So, yeah. So this also has an actual filter. The filters, we'll actually put that a part of repairs as well. So these filters are, and I don't know how this filtration system works. Like, well, it's obvious how it works, but it's like I don't think this comes with it. Is my point. So I think this is something that he bolted on after the fact. He bolted it on after the fact. And the funny story here is that you can use a roll of toilet paper as your filter. Okay, that's so damn freaking hilarious. My nose is super itchy. My nose hairs are getting on my nerves. So we have our O-ring here. This looks pretty good. Looks like it has a good seal to it. It's pliable. It doesn't look like it's broken. Doesn't look like it's heated too much. So this looks good. That's like not going to be a problem. We have, the inside of this looks good. We'll clean this off, dust that sucker off. This is the filter. These filters, I priced them out. I forgot what the price I have on these. These are your M723 filter elements. I forgot the name. Motor Guard. Yeah, so Motor Guard. And I think you can really put any filter you want on this, but this is the filtration for the air coming in from your compressor, taking out water, moisture, or anything else like that, nor any other contaminants that might be going through it. So then you have a cleaner line on the inside of this unit. That's also a good thing. I do not know if that other unit had that. So actually, let's look that up on Facebook Marketplace. I won't put it on the main screen, but we'll keep on messing up that search. Spectrum 1000 625. Oof. All right, so this unit, I don't see it on there. Yeah, I don't see where he has a filter. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't have a filter in line here. It might be closer to right off the compressor or something like that, or on the line itself, but there is no compressor. That's nice that this unit has it, and if I would do my research and look into it, I might get something like that as well. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and take this thing apart further. The line is pretty much in there, and then the compressor or this filter is attached to the case. So I'm gonna have to take that apart. I'm gonna attack this. So I gotta figure out the 723, get that pricing, and add that as get more of those filters. I think this filter should really be white. So this is a a tan color at this point. So either it's it's been through its paces, I guess, dirty air, whatever, coming into it. So it's done its job. So that's really good. Don't know how that's going to affect the performance, or if it's like that bad. Smelling some dust off of this thing. All right, let's just put on some gloves or something and get going. Where are my gloves? Oh, here we go. Guess I should have put gloves on already. Didn't I say I was not going to spend too long on this? I spent almost an hour plus just talking, but that is me. That is who I am. Definitely cold out here tonight, but I do have a heater here, and I gotta like damn near keep it close to my leg because this building is not insulated. Some stuff happened today. It is what it is, though, man. Nothing major, but also nothing small. Nothing major, nothing minor, just in between. Either way, you wish everybody the best. All right, so let's start taking this bad boy apart. Organize things a little bit here. Let's get this ground clamp on the ground. Let's get this into better view here. Well, let's keep all these parts organized. Huh. I forgot to. That's weird. I thought I had. Oh. Hmm. Huh. All right. Well, let's get rid of that. Best viewers online at. Oh, I don't know. I think this is BS, so we'll ban that person. Soak. SMSM top 6. Weird. You could ban them, but I'd rather just hide it because that just looks like BS. Huh. Anyways. I got a comment. It's a bot, most likely, but I got a comment. It's on the Twitch side. That's pretty cool. Twitch is back up and running. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Because this one, this has the hose directly connected to it. All right, I'm just going to have to take it apart. That's how you're going to do it. Simple as that. Again, like, I really do wish these cables, you can detach them. I don't like moving them, especially with the integrated hose. Yeah, I don't like that feeling of, I guess, moving that cable around too much. Not really a big deal, though. because these cables get moved all the time and articulated, so. I think it's this one. Interview a little bit more. The camera now. All right, so now we should be able to attack this air filter and get it off. See, this cable's cool. Oh. Okay. Just need a wrench for that. Maybe a hammer. No hammer. Uh-oh. It's not working out how I want it to. Because it looks like the hose is in there. Oh no, okay. Alright, so it has this like ball fitting here. So I need pliers for that. But gotta be careful not to damage it. So let's cover the pliers a little bit. Okay, I've already compromised that then, so let's do this. It'd be smarter, I think, to just remove the whole assembly and have it hanging off the side. So I shouldn't have had to do this. Okay, I think I got it passed. So it should be, oh no. This is kind of my nature. When I get like something, I like to take it apart. Like I want to understand it. I want to understand it and learn how to repair it, recreate it, improve it. Like I already started, notes on what I need to repair this. All right, we won't tighten that up too much, but we need to get to these here. Okay, that was easy. One is always easy. The other, always freaking hard. Or the other two in this case. Don't worry about this though. Like bracket is on there really good and everything, but it's like, does it come with the bracket so you can put on this air filter? Or did you have to use self-tappers to attach it? Does look nicely done though. If this is just how it, yeah, so you're using self-tappers to tap through this thing here. Not the way I would have liked to have done it, but I think it's one of those things where if you line it up, there's enough space in there to where you can do whatever you need to. I would like to take this apart here, like remove this whole air filter. Oh, you're not seeing it. Remove this whole air filter housing or bracket. Go from there. Weird. That's another thing is like have to research the right stuff to use with these streaming platforms. Can't say I'm a streamer per se. I don't know. I'm gonna get in there. Okay. Okay. Where's socket set? That kind of hurt. What the fuck? Damn. That shit's on there tight. I'm gonna take my damn wrist off. Let's lay this thing down. Oh. What the fuck? That's pretty serious. Oh, first roadblock here. You know what? No, it's not. That can stay right where it's at. New angles, new perspectives. So with this, I can get to it. I'll just have to The elbow grease here. Messed up my sleep schedule because I did that damn trip. I was driving from 7 p.m. to 5 p.m. when I got back home. Or 5 a.m. when I got back home. It's a crazy trip, too. Crazy. I don't know how I did that. That's crazy, man. Why is it? Why do you forsake me? Jesus, man. I think this is that lock washer that's doing that. Took my freaking wrist off, man. All right. All right, so that's good. Now I can easily take this off. All right. Okay. Let's see. It's back together. Use that. Have that ready when we need it. The wrenches back. Our plier back. Hammer. Didn't need that. And this socket set, I gotta put that back. Okay. So should be able to take off the shroud now. Wow, the feet underneath this thing, super clean. Super clean. Like the XMT 304 has like rusted feet and everything. I mean, I was out kind of like not in the elements, but it was outside a little bit. Like it was in a garage or a workshop, but the workshop most likely had their garage open all the time. All right, let's see if we can get this thing upright because the shroud is pretty much free. And this way we didn't have to disconnect the hoses or anything. Because these are on here pretty tight, man. This is like... I'll probably do this in another stream. Because it's getting late. I'll do a part 2, but let's get this shroud off. Ooh! Those houses look pretty good. Oh, wow, okay. So those screws for the air filter. Huh, okay. Let me put this to the side. And let's take a look in here. Try to be careful with of course, the components getting into it. Let's change our angle. All right, and damn it. I think I can. I'm hoping I can. Let me see if I can flip this camera. Desk cam. The camera input. Screen share. Screen share. But where's the camera input? Desk cam. Ugh. How can I make this better? Okay. Okay. We'll put it back up here. And I'll just tilt the. Let's tilt this bad boy. All these cables connected to it. Okay. So this is simpler on the inside, that's for sure. A lot simpler. Um, the XMT had like two larger uh, capacitors here. Again, that goes up to 300 amp. This is a 40 amp device. So one thing I remember like watching somebody taking one of these apart, going through it a little bit, is that they talked about how the hose lines were yellowed. These hose lines are not, so that's good. Which means like if they're yellowed, that means they're gonna be brittle for the most part. This thing has been de-energized for what has to be over 24 hours now. So we're good on that. Um, our biggest thing now is just making sure we don't fuck anything up in terms of the board. But very simple on the inside. This is our power plug coming in, and that unit. I'm just looking through the camera. Okay, so that's all there. And then our switch wired to our switch. Okay. Oh, I guess this isn't. This should only be single phase. I don't see this being anything. Yeah, it's not wired that it can be any other phase or three phase. So yeah, this is a single phase unit. Okay, I guess that makes sense since it's only 40 amps. I mean, I don't know any better, but what I'll do is I'll get the compressor to this um, and start cleaning this out. So this unit, I won't. Not much I can do with this. There's not much I should do to this. What I do want to see is like where this cable leads to. So this is of course our hose, electrical and everything goes through this and comes out. This what's it called, retention or tension guard or whatever. That seems fine. Honestly, the only problem with the only quote unquote problem with this thing is dust. So nothing's wrong with it. We could wipe it down. Honestly, we don't have to do this. I'm really overdoing it. There's not much I have. There's nothing I need to do to this damn thing. I do want to take the front fan off, clean off this hose. There's no daubers or bugs nests in there, so that's great. Like the XMT 304 that I got, they had a whole bugs nest in there. Um, our ground clamp, everything on that is clean. Hit this with the air compressor. Um, go from there. But I'll leave this for tomorrow because one, I'm tired. Two, got to get some rest before work. And then uh, three, well, yeah, I want to relax for a little bit. My schedule's off, so. Oh, man. Huh. That's just cool, though. Enough talking, just look at it. What is that? Is it like a filter? No. Blow this thing off now. Ugh. one thing to note right here, this is our hose for our lead. And you can see how we have the wiring, and then we have it going right into the air hose right here, or the air system. That's pretty cool. I need to also, like, when I get more time tomorrow, check on some of these air fittings, make sure everything's good there, see if there's any, like, potentials for leaks and stuff. Kind of like this air hose that I have in now that's leaking. This needs some thread tape. Okay. I really do want to... Oh, there's not much I can do wiping off this capacitor. It's not going to do anything. Oh wow, I'm like blowing off paint off this thing. That's good air pressure. Let's get the front grill off. Get this grill cleaned out tomorrow. Or later on today, really, technically. I'll probably have to get something where I can kind of manipulate and get into these crevices here. Or just not. We can kind of test the air system right now. Kind of, sort of. Not really. All right, first problem. The fitting is not fitting. So if anything, I got to get a smaller fitting for this. Adapter or something. Okay. So I need either an adapter or I have to thread in a new fitting for the air system. Not a big deal. It means I'm going to have to do thread tape and all that other stuff. One thing I do, well, I got to look up the, I got to order the air filters for this thing, the M723s. So I'll get that. But I think we're at a good stopping point. We've really, it's just going to be spit shining it from this point on, and getting into the crevices, water, putting a little water to it, clean off what we can. So do the dry cleaning first, and cleaning it further. Overall, I'm impressed with this thing, or I'm impressed with the deal. I think it was a good deal. Um, Now it's just time to clean it up and put it in its place amongst all the other things. I'll be busy streaming instead of using some of this stuff immediately because I try to separate that. I'm not like one of those channels where I put all this stuff together. Where you unbox it. I was thinking about doing an unboxing for this chop saw, but I'm like, man, I'll do that another time. Okay. Mm, yeah, we'll take this off. It's only got 2 screw points for this thing. That takes a Torx bit. I got Torx. I got Torx. Oh man, I really messed up my sleep schedule. It's 3 o'clock. Yeah, 3:20. Ooh. I mean, I like this set, this Torx set that I got off of Amazon, of course. But every time you open it, it's freaking chaos. That's absolutely fucking annoying. You know, like I got T20. All right, looks like it works. But you know, got a T20. You gotta find the T20. It might be in the spot of a T13. You gotta deal with it from there. Shit. That grill held the fan in place. Whoa. I wouldn't say that's a poor design. It's just not something I would do. It's definitely something I didn't know about. That sucks. So now the fan is like detached from the housing. Great. Ugh. Not a big deal to fix, I guess. Just gotta hand tighten it. Yeah. Alright. It just looks like it has not bird shit, but like, I don't know, something on here. If I was to move it here. So, I should use. So, yeah, this fan, taking off the 2 screws that hold the fan, the grill to the housing and the fan, takes this whole thing apart. So, I'll wipe this whole thing out. I want to make sure that this fan works. Um, I don't remember if I heard it whirring up when I was working on it, when we were testing it. But yeah, so got to clean that up, get some water to it, get some water on all these cables, and clean that stuff off. Alrighty. With that being said, I am going to end the stream. I've taken more than enough apart. And, yeah, hour and a half. Okay. Yeah, not too long. Yeah. I figured out something to do. Do I want to see if I reuse these tomorrow? Yeah, we can reuse these. So yeah, the goal is to clean this bad boy off, and the main reason I want it is for, cutting through stuff that just I can just power through, so to speak. Like I have, excuse me, oh man, right in your ear. Actually, let's switch to iPhone. Yeah, I should have just done this earlier. Huh? Oh, okay, it doesn't change. Oh, that's really cool. Um, so yeah, this is I guess a better view of the unit. I'll do some repairs to the shroud itself in terms of just banging out one or two bends. I already did some, but ugh, oh man. The main goal is for stuff like this, like these tight edges where or tight spots where I can't get something in safely and do a full or proper cut off of this. So I want to get rid of stuff like this. Get these. Like if I can just even cut it down to here, that'd be even better. But even if I can just cut off this piece and then somehow get this piece off without damaging this hanger, I mean that's going to be a big deal. You know, that's going to be a big win for me. Same thing for like pieces down here. Like I've actually gone through with a grinder and then taken off a little bit of the edge or the sharpness of these cross members that I cut off. But yeah, really to fix that is my biggest thing. So this is why I want to kind of get rid of that magnetic clamp or get rid of the clamp and do a magnetic deal. Um, I think just having a magnet would be a lot better, quote unquote cleaner. So I'll kind of experiment with that, see how it works, especially with welding. Uh, yeah, I think those magnets take up to like 500 amps, so I can run that much power through them. But yeah, this is the setup here, man. We're getting better. I think I did this. Did I stream this? I don't think I streamed this. I don't remember. Anyways, did some welding. Got these stake pockets on. Got these things here on. So I don't think I streamed this. But just did these three things, knocked them out, and started fitting up the front bar that I want to have here, and I'll have kind of like a stop bar welded onto here, or weld this channel iron onto here, and then weld some posts so any load that's on it doesn't push forward, cause any damage. I do, not that I need to, I do want to take off that coupler. Um, I won't use a plasma cutter for that because it'll cut, of course, all the way through the frame. But I want to use, this is where an acetylene torch would be a lot better. So I'll talk to my friend Henry about that, getting that done, and definitely replacing that jack. That definitely has to go because it's like bent and wobbly. And then, going through and finishing the painting on it, or finishing the getting all the metal work done, getting everything buffed off, and getting down to the metal so that I can eventually paint this one day. This is some tests that I was doing with welding. So I was working with higher amperages, smaller rods, higher amperages, bigger rods. So bigger rods, higher amperages, and then dialing it in. I think 125 for a 1/8 rod, or 1/8 7018 rod is good for my machine. Um, I noticed that it was lower when I first got the unit, or when I was testing my welder. I noticed the number was lower at the guy shop, but he also had 3-phase power, which most likely requires less amperage, or to get the same amount of effectiveness in terms of burning the rod. At least that's what I noticed. I'm not exactly sure about that part. But around 115 for a 3/32 rod gives me a bit of a better result. So just going crazy on that piece of metal there. Um, got these things tacked in pretty quickly, and then also working with the die grinder to get this, die grinder to get down some of these welds, knock down some of these welds. Some welds are better than others, but none of them are great. So be working on that and getting better with that. But yeah, I am actually really happy about the progress, having those steak pockets on, being able to do all of this so far by myself. Um, in terms of like learning skills and everything else like that, I'm super happy about being able to do these things. And like, I was like, oh, I got to get a welder, I got to do this, and so on and so forth. And just little bit by little bit, just getting this learning this whole new skill and all the things that come along with it, watching more videos about the profession and the overall skill to do better and when to notice like problems and things that you're doing. Um, yeah, so really happy about that, and we'll continue to progress. Uh, this will be one of the next things that we do is take this bad boy out. So got this Evolution miter chop saw, but yeah, that came in today. Big old blade, 14-inch blade on that. But first, we got to clean up our plasma cutter and get it all back together. We'll get that done tomorrow and get this all cleaned up. And I think maybe we'll do another stream Saturday, definitely Sunday, definitely sometime this weekend, I should say, with the chop saw and some other stuff, and hopefully get some work done as well. All right. With that being said, appreciate you all, and well, no need. Peace.